In Knox County Schools, we're a large school district, so operationalizing is something that we have to think about very strategically. So at the district level, our responsibility really rests in describing the vision for the work, building our leaders' capacity for understanding why this work is important and relevant, and the impact that it can have on our educators and our students. We also own the responsibility of thinking about intentional professional learning that's necessary within our school leaders to promote that work, but also build capacity in being successful in that work.
Our district's vision is really grounded in the belief that every student can learn and can learn at high levels. The professional learning community framework is really that vehicle that helps us make this vision into a reality. And PLCs are treated as not one more thing, but the way we do business in our schools. Challenges that we really saw for our district. We are a rural district and we have many schools that are smaller schools and have one teacher per grade level. So then that makes them a singleton and they're working alone without somebody to collaborate. And we noticed that was a struggle, and that's where our district Zooms came into play. We decided last year to make a common schedule for all K-5 teachers across our district. We were then able to do Zooms this year with all third grade math teachers and all third grade ELA teachers, where we can do a true PLC. We also had some just inconsistency across schools. Some teams had really strong collaborative practices and other teams were just starting.
In Knox County Schools, we started really thinking deeply about what our PLC structure looked like and the effectiveness of our PLCs across all grade bands in our district. As we did that work, we realized that we had a wide spectrum of implementation, from schools not implementing at all to schools fully implementing, with really strong teacher leaders facilitating the PLC work. From there, after our leaders did the PLC health check, we had to really start analyzing the root cause of our pockets of ineffectiveness. And when we did that root cause analysis, we landed on focusing on leadership in the PLC work involved proximity to our schools. So as a district team, we supported our school leaders through IPG walks. We connected those IPG walks to being present in the PLC work and really thinking about, does this PLC impact what we're seeing play out in the classroom? We were able to determine that leadership is what we needed to focus on in order to increase the effectiveness of our PLCs. When we focused on leadership, we've done it in stages. So as a district, one of the biggest transitions we've made over the last 3 years is really shifting our focus from primarily teacher level professional learning to a leader level professional learning that wasn't quite there previously. In that leader learning, we've taken time to build up their knowledge around effectiveness, around PLC leadership effectiveness, but also just their own instructional leadership capacity. So we've really spent time during principals meetings building up our principals to understand what it is we're looking for. And then from there, we've also built in support for our instructional coaches. In many of our schools, much of our elementary schools, our PLC facilitators are our instructional coaches. So building up their capacity with district level support, but also then following them into the field, doing work alongside them, not to them or for them, has then built up that leadership capacity as well. So as a school district, one of the things that we've been focused on as we've really been in a change management process around our PLC work is the importance of collective participation. That's a phrase that we've been using with our school leaders and our district leaders to say, hey, you should be at the table. You should be present. So it's a district-wide expectation that there is an administrator present at all of our PLCs to be a collective participant in the work, but also to monitor and to think about the effectiveness of that collaboration among general educators, special educators, and our ESL teachers that are at the table. Within that monitoring, some of the things that we've seen are definite needs. We have needs around fostering better leadership, around an inclusive model of a PLC, how we elevate the voices of different experts. Our special ed teachers bring in an expertise that we need to hear, much like our ESL teachers bring in knowledge of that language acquisition that as general educators, we might not always think about and prioritize. So how do we elevate all the voices at the table to bring in the expertise and truly think about all students within Tier 1? That's been an area of need. And as we lean into that leadership look for document, where we think about cultivating that collective efficacy, that's where we've leaned in on monitoring that and having honest discussions. We're also thinking about the connection between PLC effectiveness and classroom practice. So looking at our IPG data across the district also helps us monitor the effectiveness of PLCs. The other thing that we've done in that monitoring of PLCs is really thinking about how we provide targeted, specific feedback to our PLC leaders and to our teachers when we're observing their instruction connected to a PLC that we're looking for transfer from. So that dialogue is always happening, and the tools that we've created have been really supportive to our school leaders in that progress monitoring and our district leaders who are being proximate to the work.
When we were working with our PLCs at the school level, we really noticed that we were on two separate islands with our general education teachers and our special education teachers, and we needed to bring that together. So we worked with our core office and our principals to model expectations for what this could look like within a PLC that included both a gen ed and a special education teacher. And now we are seeing special education teachers that sit alongside our general education teachers and talk through issues that they might be having in the classroom with particular students, and also ways to support the special education students so they are successful in a core classroom alongside their peers. So challenges that we had with having a collaboration that included both general education teachers and special education teachers really came to time, that time and space. We had the structure set up for all general education teachers to meet in a collaborative group. But because our special education teachers have students all day long, it was very difficult to get them into those PLCs with those grade levels. So it has become some creative scheduling with our district special education department, just aligning their schedule more with the PLC schedule when students are in and out of their classrooms. Sometimes it has been a little different in that the special education department comes in and helps support in some different ways from the district level to make sure that we can get our teachers, all our teachers together in the same room talking through students. And sometimes those have had to happen after school. In our district, we try to do all PLC work during the day because we know that teachers are tired at the end of the day and they just really need that time to themselves to rest and reset. But in some schools, that has just been difficult. So we have had to look at time after school just to meet in those collaborations.
The advice that I would offer other school districts leading change management around PLCs and monitoring PLCs to really increase access for all students in that Tier 1 space is to be proximate to the work. Get out in the field, join a PLC, go on a classroom walkthrough connected to that PLC to see what's happening, and then arm your school leaders with resources.
Advice I would give to another district is don't give up. The work is hard. You are going to have people every day that say, I don't know why we're doing this. This is one more thing. This will go away in time. This will stop. And just, it's the right work. You know that collaborations with teachers is the right thing to do. And just don't give up. Stay the course. It will get better, and your district will be amazing.
What we hear in Knox County all the time is that our leaders need tangible resources to refer back to for guidance when we aren't able to be in the field with them. And because we're a large school district, we have 92 schools, a large ship to try to turn. We can't turn it all at once and fast. We have to take slow incremental steps toward progress. So remember to celebrate the wins along the way that you're experiencing.